Imagine you see an extremely attractive person and you're trying to tell your friend about it. And you say, oh, I see this person. They're very, 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 very beautiful. Well, in today's lesson, I'm going to teach you a better way to say very. Hi everyone, my name is Dawn, and today we are going to go over words that are going to be much better than trying to emphasize it with very. I get this all the time, especially with a lot of my Peruvian friends here in Lima who love to emphasize that they see something and they can only say very, 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 very. Well, we're going to break that barrier and we are going to teach you other ways to say these words. If you are learning English right now, be sure to like and subscribe, hit the little notifications bell so that you won't miss another future video. All right, so let's start with the first one. When you see somebody attractive and you want to say they are very beautiful, instead call them gorgeous. So you can say, wow, I was walking in the park and I saw a very gorgeous man. I wanted to go talk to him, but I was shy. Something like that. So gorgeous really emphasizes that they are extremely attractive. That is kind of like not necessarily a superlative, but it is a word to really say, wow, they are so beautiful, extremely beautiful, very beautiful, gorgeous. All right, the next one, imagine you're in a classroom and maybe you're in your English class and you find that the teacher is very boring. Oh my goodness, you're just sitting there and you just cannot wait to get out. Well, instead of calling it very, very boring, call it dull. So if your mom says, hey, how was English class today? You can say, it was pretty dull. Because that will emphasize it was very, very boring. All right, now imagine there's traffic outside and you have all of this noise, these bing, bang, clangs happening. I know that happens to me all the time here. You're just trying to say like, oh my goodness, it is very noisy. Well, instead of saying very noisy, you can say it's deafening. Because saying it's deafening really shows, wow, that is so loud, I cannot handle it. It's making me go deaf. It is deafening. All right, imagine that you are trying to go to university. I know that in North America, it's more of a cultural thing where you take out lots of loans, you try to make it at university, you still have jobs on the side, but you still feel very poor. I know I did when I was in university, and you kind of feel like, oh my goodness, I am penniless. So instead of saying, oh, I'm so poor, I'm very poor, you can say, I am penniless. I have no money. I have no pennies. I am penniless. All right, our next one is very cheap. And this specifically is when we are using it as an adjective to describe somebody. So if you say like, oh yeah, my friend over there, he hates spending money. He is very cheap. Like he will not sit down at a restaurant. He will not do anything. He won't like send money to anybody. Like he is very, very cheap. Well, instead of saying very cheap, we can say he is stingy. And stingy is kind of a negative connotation. It's kind of being like, oh, he's really stingy. Like he's really selfish and he will never give his money away or even spend his money. Stingy. So another way to say it that's a little bit more lighthearted, it's a little bit more positive, is frugal. So somebody who is frugal is very cheap, but they are just extremely careful with their money in that they will spend what they need, but they're extremely careful. Maybe they will try to find coupons. Maybe they will try to find shortcuts to find the best deal. So they are very frugal. All right, so stingy and frugal. All right, and now I'm just gonna plug in my quick little gift for you all because I have created this excellent roadmap that's going to help you get from intermediate English all the way up to advanced English and all the steps you need to take along the way. So this is a free downloadable blueprint, so you can just go ahead, click the first link in the description, and you are going to be sent this perfect ebook that's going to help you figure out how you can get from intermediate all the way to advanced English. All right, now let's talk about something that is very, very, very clean. So if something is very clean, maybe it's your house, maybe it's your car or whatever it is, you can say it is spotless. So for example, your mom says, hey, make sure the house is clean before I get home. And then she comes home and she's so surprised because it's so clean and she says, oh, it's spotless in here. It is spotless. So a spot meaning like maybe there's like mess or something, those are little spots, and there's none of it. It is spotless, perfectly clean. So very clean is spotless. All right, so now let's talk about if something is short. And I mean short as in like timing wise. So like maybe you have a class, but it was short. So instead of saying, oh yeah, my class was like very short today, you can say, it was brief. Yeah, the instructor came in, he talked to the class, and we just had a brief lesson and it was over. So very short is brief. All right, now let's talk about walking up a giant mountain. Maybe it's in the Rockies, in the Himalayas, in the Andes here. And you are just like, oh my goodness, this altitude, this mountain is very, very, very hard. But do we want to say it's very hard? Well, I mean, you could, but a better way to say it is challenging. Oh my goodness, this mountain is ginormous. It is so challenging on my body. It's challenging in my mind. So that's what you can say. Instead of saying it's very hard, it is challenging. The next one we're going to talk about is something that is very dry. And in this case, I'm talking about more like the air. People who live in landlocked countries like me in Canada, where I lived in Alberta, and it's very, very dry. So I can say, oh my goodness, my skin is very dry because the air is so dry. It's very dry. Then I could say it is arid. So it is so arid outside, that's why my skin is flaky. So arid. So it's normally when something is extremely dry, normally when it's talking about the air consistency. And the opposite of that would be if it's very, very wet, then it's humid. All right, now imagine you are in a race and you are trying to get to the front and you want to win the gold medal. And so you are running very, 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 very quickly. However, when you're telling your friends about this race, you don't want to say, I was running like very quickly. Instead, you can say, I was rapid. I was running so fast, I was rapid, I just like went all the way to the front and I won the race. Or you can say, when your food delivery comes and you're like, whoa, that was very quick. But instead of saying, whoa, they were very quick, you could say, whoa, they are rapid. Okay, and here's a last one for you, which is very bad. He is a very, very, very bad man. He's done many things to many people. He is very bad. Well, instead of saying very bad, you can say awful. He is an awful man. Or this test was awful. Or the weather is awful today. So instead of the weather is very bad today, it is awful today. All right, so these are just a few words that you can start incorporating into your vocabulary that are not just saying very. And make sure you practice them over and over again so that you can really develop it and have these words come out as more of a habit than missing the word. And again, if you are learning English right now, be sure to like and subscribe to this channel, hit the little notification bell, share this video to your other fellow English learner friends, and I will see you at the next one.